All right. So the final conference championship series for me to preview is Vegas and Winnipeg. An interesting stat here is that the three teams that are at the bottom of the league alphabetically, Vegas, because they dropped the loss from their name, so it's the Vegas Golden Knights. Washington Capitals and Winnipeg Jets alphabetically are the three last teams in the NHL. Strange. So where's Vancouver? Anyway, uh, they couldn't get in because Vegas and Winnipeg are below them alphabetically. That's why the Canucks weren't very good this year. They knew they couldn't make it. Um, Hellebuck and Fleury are going to be the big matchup everybody looks at. Vegas is 8-2 in the playoffs. Winnipeg's 8-4. Vegas has had a nice long layoff again, going into a series that's going to start tomorrow night. And Winnipeg's going to be tired coming off of that series against the Nashville Predators. And honestly, they're going to be pretty bruised up too. That was a pretty brutal series. On the topic of their season record against each other, Vegas was technically 2-1. Winnipeg was 1-1-1. But let's take a closer look at that. Vegas wins on November 10th, 5-2, with Legacy as their starting goaltender. Hellebuck was pulled from that game and Steve Mason had to replace him. December 1st, Winnipeg wins the game 7-4. Hellebuck is the winner. Legacy is the one that allows all 7 goals for Vegas. And then February 1st, Vegas wins that one in overtime 3-2. Marc-Andre Fleury played that game, and Connor Hellebuck played that game for Winnipeg. So Hellebuck's numbers against Vegas are not fantastic. And we'll see. I mean, it's the playoffs, so things change. I don't think anybody necessarily expected these to be the two teams playing each other in the conference finals. And again, it's because we kind of expected Vegas to just be happy to be here or something along those lines. Something, not necessarily in that terminology, but something like that, right? We didn't expect them to be this good this fast. And on the Winnipeg side of things, most of us were picking Nashville that I saw. So this really kind of throws off some matchups. The funny thing is, when people say, "Oh, you were wrong," I'm happy to be wrong. I'm glad Winnipeg's still in here, and it's kind of fun to see Vegas in here, and this could be one heck of a series. On the scoring side of things, Marchessault leads the way for Vegas with 4 goals and 7 assists. Points-wise, he's tied with Riley Smith, who has a goal and 10 assists. William Karlsson, 4 goals, 6 assists. Alex Tuch, 4 goals, 3 assists. James Neal, 3 goals, 4 assists. And David Perron has only played 8 games, but he has 7 assists in those 8 games. Shots on goal, James Neal, 44. Jonathan Marchessault, 41. Marchessault does a little bit of everything. Hits, Reeves leads the way with 8. I say that because he only played 1 game. He got 8 hits. Carrier has 52 to technically lead the team. But if you can get Reeves and Carrier both into the lineup, that would be entertaining to see. I just don't know who you drop out of the lineup to make that happen. McNabb is the next guy on the list with 49. Impressive. We all agree that plus minus is bad, plus minus is bad, plus minus is bad, and yet I can point out that nobody on the Vegas Golden Knights playoff run has had a minus. Nobody right now is sitting with a minus for the playoffs, which tells you how well they're playing 5-on-5. They're not giving you anything 5-on-5. And I think the guys who aren't getting the negative plus minus can thank this guy down here, Marc-Andre Fleury, 8-2 in the playoffs, 1.53 goals against, 951 save percentage, 4 shutouts in the playoffs. I think they said he's 16th now on the all-time list in shutouts in the playoffs. Yeah, he's probably getting himself into a position now where, yes, he is a Hall of Famer when he retires. Power play. Vegas is at 17.5% on penalty kill. Vegas is at 85%. And I like the looks of things in general for them. So with those numbers on the board, Vegas absolutely deserves to be here. The scoring's been spread out, and it's going to be really tough to shut them down. And remember now, I always add up the power play, the penalty kill. Anything above 100 is good. They're at 102.5% right now, which is, considering their play 5-on-5, that's good because their 5-on-5 is excellent, and their power play and penalty kill are good enough to be above 100. So as long as your 5-on-5 play is excellent, then your special teams just need to be good. And their penalty kill is excellent because of this guy. That's all it is. Winnipeg. And I don't mean that's all it is, as in, that's it. That's all there is. No, like, Fleury's been fantastic. Compare his stats with the other goalies in the playoffs, and it's intimidating. On the Winnipeg side of things, Mark Scheifele now has 11 goals and 5 assists in the playoffs. Wheeler has 3 goals and 12 assists. Stastny, 6 goals and 8 assists. Bufflin, 4 goals and 9 assists. Laine, 3 goals and 7. Connor, 2 goals and 6. And we're waiting for both Connor and Laine to break through with goals in the playoffs. Laine's points are fine, and it kind of underscores a point that I've been making for a while about this silly Laine versus Matthews thing. Laine plays with a much better team than Austin Matthews does in Toronto, and there's more pressure on Matthews than there is on Laine. So that's why the whole argument to me is kind of silly. Matthews is the centerpiece. He is expected to be the guy. Laine doesn't have to be, because Scheifele, who's been in the league for a while now, is the guy. So there you go. And Blake Wheeler's done a lot of good as well. So I don't see Toronto having those guys in their lineup. I don't see anybody in their lineup that can do what Wheeler and Scheifele have done. Shots on goal. Laine has 40. Bufflin 36. Hits. Bufflin 46. Sherratt 39. So much like Marchessault can do everything for Vegas, Bufflin can do everything for Winnipeg. He emerges as the better defenseman between himself and Subban or Yossi. I don't think it was a great series for defense for Nashville, and I think that was because Winnipeg's attack is that good. But we'll find out. Now, I talked about plus minus here, and I would be remiss not to mention that Enstrom's a -2, Lowry's a -1, Perreault's a -1, and that's it. So again, I know plus minus is a flawed statistic, but the fact that Winnipeg has nobody sitting with a minus other than these 3 guys, and Enstrom was coming back from an injury, and Lowry plays a checking role against better players, and Perreault was coming back from an injury as well. This is a pretty good indicator of how well Winnipeg's playing 5-on-5. Hellebuck's numbers: he's 8-4, 2.24 goals against, and a .927 save percentage with 2 shutouts. Hellebuck has been very, very solid. His numbers show that. He's had a couple of games where he's looked a little less stellar. However, Winnipeg's been pretty excellent with their attack, and their defense is better than I think any of us gave him credit for going into this season. Sherratt's a good example of a guy who's been better than I would have given him credit for. Power plays at 25%. Penalty kill, though, 74.2. So their numbers are below 100. They're at 99.2%. So they can't afford to take penalties against a Vegas team that is sitting with a 17.5% power play, but it was much better in the second round than it was in the first round against Jonathan Quick. Not the Kings, Jonathan Quick. So special teams favors Vegas. 5-on-5 kind of favors Vegas too. But there are people who are going to argue that San Jose and LA are not as tough competition as Minnesota and Nashville. I don't know how much I buy into that, but I will say that Nashville was one hell of a tough team. So I would say that in the last round, Nashville was better than San Jose. I don't know that I would put Minnesota ahead of LA as a tougher opponent in the playoffs to beat. But Vegas swept them, and Winnipeg won their series in 5. So this is going to be close. And I'm kind of stalling because I don't want to have to say who I think is going to win. Winnipeg has home ice, which didn't help them in the last round. They won 3 of their 4 games in that series on the road. They were 1-2 at home. Vegas is fantastic on the road or at home. I'm leaning towards Vegas. I'm leaning towards the team in their first year going to a Stanley Cup final. And I don't know game totals. I would love to wear this for a preview video for Stanley Cup final and talk about the Winnipeg Jets in the Stanley Cup final against either Washington or Tampa. Either of those series would be fantastic. But all the numbers to me point in Vegas's favor. And this is going to be tough. So I just saying I'm barely leaning towards Vegas as the team that I think could win the series, and yet Winnipeg took out the team that I said would win the Stanley Cup, so it would be very easy for me to say, well, clearly Winnipeg's the better team. You guys, your guess is as good as mine on this one. I kind of think I need to stay away from it with a prediction, other than a cautious, maybe Vegas, but Winnipeg should win it because they got home ice. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. This is a tough one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, just happened upon this video. This is a tough one. This is not easy. It's a tough call. Thank you guys very much, though, for watching this and for letting me know what you guys think. And I'll talk to you again soon.